Near the beginning of Hogwarts Legacy, the Sorting Hat will sort you into one of the 4 different houses, those being Gryffindor, Slytherin, Ravenclaw, and of course Hufflepuff. Being in a house is more than just wearing a specific colour, it changes elements of your gameplay to offer a unique experience relevant to the house that you are in. And what I've just said there sort of sounds like what you get in the exact Harry Potter series and how the houses work within that, but of course when it comes to the Sorting Hat, things are a little bit different within Hogwarts Legacy. While the Sorting Hats will appear in Hogwarts Legacy, you'll be the one deciding the house you'll be sent to, so all you have to do is select your preferred house once the choice presents itself. If you do want to immerse yourself, answering his question with the right house trait will prompt him to suggest the one you may be looking for, but you can always choose differently once the Sorting Hat does suggest a house. You don't have to go with the recommended house from the Sorting Hat, you do get to pick from the 4, but of course if you want to keep it more realistic in a way, then you can just go with what the Sorting Hat recommends, since of course during the actual Harry Potter series, you don't get to pick which house you join, it is picked for you. So if you want to do something similar to that, then of course you're going to want to go with what it recommends, but yeah, you can pick. Generally though, the bravery is lined in with Gryffindor, and then curiosity is linked to Ravenclaw, loyalty is with Hufflepuff, and then ambition is part of Slytherin. So if you do get asked the question, one of those answers will obviously correspond to the house, and yeah, those are sort of how they link up, if that makes sense. But of course, since this house does play quite a big part at the beginning of the game, it's probably worth looking at what are the actual differences between each of these houses. Now of course, the developers can't change too much of the game since you can't really change loads, so obviously, you know, you want it to be fairly similar between each house, but at the same time you don't want there to be too little of a difference, since then, you know, it makes this whole picking a house really pointless. So in today's video, we're going to look at the true differences between every single house in Hogwarts Legacy. Known for their courage under fire, unwavering bravery, and stout-hearted chivalry, students of Gryffindor are the most likely to engage in heroics, and may be a safe bet for those wizards and witches willing to do the right thing no matter the cost. Founded by Godric Gryffindor, the house's emblematic animal is a lion, and its colours are that of red and gold, and are featured in the different garments a Gryffindor student might wear. Students also gain exclusive access to the Gryffindor Common Room, which is located in the South Wing's Gryffindor Tower, and guarded by a portrait of a fat lady. Known for their striving for cunning and ambition above all else, students of Slytherin are often cast in a more dubious light, as they are the most often ones who plan to succeed in their endeavours, with little regard for morality or consequences to others. Founded by Salazar Slytherin, the house is represented by a snake, and its colours are that of green and silver. These students also have access to the Slytherin Common Room, which is located down in the dungeons below the Grand Staircase, and is itself located underneath the large lake, casting a watery glow from its windows where you can view the fish from. Known for wisdom, wit, and creative intelligence for solving problems, students of Ravenclaw are often assumed to be the smartest of their peers. Focusing less on raw power and more on the pursuit of academia, Ravenclaw prides itself on pursuing the magical arts with drive and diligence to become masters of spells and magic. Founded by Rowena Ravenclaw, the house is represented by an eagle, and heralds in blue and bronze, which is of course part of the features on the clothing worn by the students in this house. Ravenclaw's own common room is another off the branching towers of the Grand Staircase, although instead of requiring a password, students are tasked with solving riddles to enter, and can enjoy its large vaulted room with wide open windows overlooking the grounds below. Known for being the most inclusive house to invite anyone who valued hard work, the students of Hufflepuff House are generally thought of as a good-natured lot, and pride themselves on patience, loyalty, and fair play. While not as ambitious or competitive as other houses, they are tried and true and are still capable of great things, even if they aren't likely to boast about their accomplishments. Founded by Helga Hufflepuff, this house is symbolised by a badger alongside colours of yellow and black, which feature prominently on garments worn by students of Hufflepuff. Their common room is located quite close to the Great Hall's kitchen, down a separate stair from the Grand Staircase to the cellars, and features a homely and cosy room full of various wonderful plants, and is even located close to the house elf kitchens. So that was a brief overview of every house within Hogwarts Legacy, and other than the actual common room itself and of course the colours of each house, there isn't really much of a difference. In terms of the raw gameplay and the story of the game, the developers can't change much there, since since the story generally has to stay the same, unless they were, to create 4 separate stories, which they just couldn't really do. And there's only so much they can change within the story, since otherwise people, they're having to do 4 pretty, big playthroughs to be able to get the full story. So, it wouldn't be ideal if they did change that much of the gameplay with each house. But as you can see, there is still some pretty significant differences, of course, when it comes to the common room, and some of your quests, especially at the beginning of the game, will be based within your common room. So, the house that you do choose will play a fairly big part, of course, when it comes to the common room, since they are all completely different, and they all look completely different. They're also in completely different areas of the castle, and of course, they have completely different entrances, which require completely, unique tasks to be able to enter. But yeah, other than the colours of the house and the actual common room itself, there isn't loads that's different. But something that is definitely different is the people within each house, since of course you can't be in more than one house, and the people within each common room are of course going to vary, since you can't, like I said, be in the same house. Now, in my current playthrough, I am part of the Ravenclaw house, and I thought it'd be interesting to actually go and visit the Ravenclaw house and just take a look around and see some of the exclusive characters that you do get as part of the Ravenclaw house. Now, if you don't want to have a look at this, since you might be doing a Ravenclaw playthrough in the future, then of course you can just skip ahead. But if you are interested in seeing this, then let's go and take a look now. So here we are at the Ravenclaw common room, and as you can see, right now there is nobody here, and I thought it'd be pretty cool to see the difference between day and night. Right now it is the nighttime, and as you can see, everyone leaves the common room. There is literally no one here. On none of these floors is there, a single soul. So obviously you got the ghosts and everything like that, and that's, has to be expected. But there is no actual people, so I thought it'd be pretty cool just to show you that, no one's here, unless of course we do change it to the daytime. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that right now. So if we just go over to the map, then we just wait out some time, and then we can obviously change that, and now it will be the day once it loads us back in. And here we go, it is now daytime, and there are all sorts of people around. So I just thought it'd be pretty cool just, look around and see what we've got here, because obviously each common room is completely different. In my current playthrough, this is the Ravenclaw. I chose the Ravenclaw house. I just went with the house that it was recommended for me, so, I just went with that house. And as you can see, you actually do get quite a lot going on here. There's sort of lots of encounters that happen as you are here, and it's a pretty cool place to explore. I think every common room definitely has some pretty cool, unique stuff that you can go and visit. So yeah, I just think it's a pretty cool place. And obviously down here, you've got the entrance to the common room. Obviously from the outside, it's not really, of all entrances, the Ravenclaw one, it probably isn't my favourite, but I just, like I said, I went with the recommended house. I think that the Slytherin entrance is pretty cool, but yeah, that's just my opinion. And as you can see, there's all sorts that you can do around here, and people that you are able to see, particularly right at the beginning of the game, you do get the opportunity to speak to certain members. So I just thought it'd be pretty cool, just to have a quick look as we are now, and just see, this is the Ravenclaw common room, and like I mentioned, every common room is completely different. So yeah, I just thought it was pretty cool that you do get all of these people around here, just doing certain things, and just sort of, going about their own lives within the world of Hogwarts. So I just think it's pretty cool that, you get to be able to walk around and explore all of this. So yeah, that was just a quick little look around the Ravenclaw common room. So there you go, that was a look around the Ravenclaw house and some of the exclusive stuff that you do get as part of the Ravenclaw common room and being a part of that house. Of course, along with it, you do get exclusive uniform as part of each house. And after all, this also applies to your broomstick, and I have actually done a broom guide. A link to that video is in the description below, but your broom can actually vary depending on the house that you are part of, because you can actually change the style of your broom depending on the house that you are in. This does also apply to some of the clothing that you do get within the game. Some clothing is exclusive to a certain house, or at least the style of the clothing will vary, but bear in mind this style varying is probably only the colours of the clothing, since of course the colours do change with each house. But those are the main differences between each house within Hogwarts Legacy, and that was, just breaking down everything and looking at the true differences between each house. For example, you may be currently doing a playthrough in Gryffindor and may be wondering if it's worth doing another playthrough in Slytherin. Some would argue there's slightly more content, maybe an exclusive quest or something, but generally speaking, it's going to be very, very similar no matter the house that you do pick. So unless you really want to be able to, just feel like you're part of Slytherin and obviously, well, be part of Slytherin and then do another playthrough, then maybe it's worth it. But if you just want to, you want to get the true story and you're wondering if there'll be a sort of different story if you choose a different house, that won't be the case. And it's probably only worth doing the one playthrough unless you're really, really dedicated. So yeah, I thought it was worth doing this video, just looking at the true differences between each of the houses in Hogwarts Legacy. And yeah, that does just about wrap up things here. Now, I have actually done a video which goes goes through the house that you should join within Hogwarts Legacy, and if you're interested in watching that, then a link to that video is on the screen now. So yeah, I'll go and see you over there if you are interested in watching that.